evening. I'm Sonya Burke, coming to you live from the studios of Montgomery Community Media, where we're covering primary election day in Montgomery County. The polls are open for 2 more hours, so if you haven't voted, now is the time. This is the first time a primary election has been held in June, and voter turnout appears to be very light. The polls opened at 7 a.m., and there were some technical glitches reported at approximately 10 polling places in the Bethesda area. A spokesperson for the Board of Elections tells us that a problem with the electronic poll book was resolved by noontime and no voter was turned away. Still, turnout was very light.
It's been very light. We only had 3 people in line, and in the first 20 minutes we've only had about 12 people come in, and that breaks my heart. I was hoping the lines would be outside the door.
Very light. We expected maybe 20% throughout the day based on other turnout throughout other states and also for early voting.
There are over 630,000 registered voters in Montgomery County, and we asked a few of them on the campus of Montgomery College about the issues that are important to them in this primary election.
I think student loans is a really serious thing that we need to put more attention towards. And I would say transportation personally, because I struggle with getting around, either whether I'm using a bike or a car.
I think just issues on immigration, because I know in the past Maryland has had kind of like a strict immigration policy, and I've seen both sides of the issue just regarding immigration. And then as a Hispanic, I'm kind of more aware of that topic.
I think one of the main issues is the health insurance problems nowadays that, after they change all the laws and the things that, were changed last year, a lot of people can't afford anymore.
In fact, the candidates are stumping for every vote they can get, as many of these races are predicted to be close. One of the most talked about races in the state of Maryland is the battle to be our state's next governor. Recently, some of the Democratic and Republican candidates in this race met with the African Immigrants Caucus in Silver Spring.
I said, who are we tonight?
Their message was clear. They want their voices heard. As time is running out for the June 24th primary election, the candidates for governor are trying to reach all their voters, spending time with hundreds of members of the African immigrant community, where they answered the crowd's cheers and gave their promises to stay in touch with the community if elected.
This is unbelievable, this turnout, and yes, you obviously have our attention. I speak for all of us. You have our attention, and we're excited about that.
And the attention is a new element to this year's election, as engaging civically is something that was new for many in the audience.
The African community is a community that's not civically engaged, and rightfully so, because of many folks who have come to Montgomery County, and more specifically the Maryland area, came from countries where they're running away from government, and political or civic engagement has always been detrimental.
But at the Redeemed Christian Church of God in Silver Spring, the African immigrant community showed that they were ready to get involved.
It's a long time that we've been looking for an opportunity to come together. So I see this as the beginning of so many great things that will happen to the African community.
And the candidates? They took the opportunity to engage the audience of voters as time is running out.
There's a reason why people want to come to this great country and make it their home. The steps that we take to make sure there's fairness and opportunity and equality for every immigrant is very important to me, and it will be to our administration.
When the African diaspora can come together and speak with one voice about their interest in organizing and exerting influence on behalf of their community, that's a good thing.
Today was an amazing opportunity for the African Immigrant Caucus to show that they are a force to be reckoned with. It was an amazing turnout, and we know that community organizing is always how we get results for the issues that matter most.
For IMC Media, I'm Valerie Bonk.
Joining us now is Valerie Bonk, who's been also monitoring the use of social media by the candidates in all the key races throughout this primary. Valerie, how important is social media in this election as a campaign tool?
Sonia, we've been following the candidates for weeks now, both on the campaign trail and on the internet. But before I go any further, I want to remind everyone of our hashtag, MoCoVote, where you can keep us updated on what you're seeing this election day. So what do the candidates think about social media? We asked them on the campaign trail.
I think it's a little overrated. I've done a lot of work in social media. I was a web journalist when the web was first coming about. And nothing substitutes for direct voter contact. Part of it is that the demographic that does doing an awful lot of work in social media, is not really a demographic that votes. That may change as time goes on, but right now it's not a. You can spend a lot of time on social media, but it's not a very effective way to get your message directly to a voter.
Social media is playing an increasing role in every election, and as you know, it's playing a big one in 2014, bigger in 2016, and in years coming, it will be even more important. It's a very targeted means of reaching voters.
I don't know, because I think if you haven't already been saturated by the social media, I don't know if the last minute bashing of social media is going to make any difference.
I don't know. It's unclear. Obviously, social media has an impact. I had the honor of running President Obama's campaign in Maryland, and that was sort of the first campaign where social impact did have a huge impact. Social media had a huge impact. What impact it will have on this campaign will really depend on who the voters are.
We've got a team covering the election on social media tonight. So tell us what you think about the election and our coverage on Facebook at Montgomery Community Media and on Twitter at MyMC Media. Back to you, Sonia.
Our coverage of primary election day in Montgomery County is just getting started. Join me in less than 25 minutes for the next 2014 update, and later at 8 p.m. when Susan Kennedy joins me for our extended coverage. You can also follow our coverage on the MyMC Media website and on Twitter at MyMC Media. I'm Sonya Burke. Thank you for watching.